Hello, Mr. Thumb here with another Raid Shadow Legend video. This is gear video number 2. What we're gonna talk about today is more in depth in gears and what are the stats on the gears that you want to keep. Now, since the first top 3 pieces will always have the same main stats, you're gonna look for the substats. So, depends on the champion, what kind of substat you're gonna keep. You need to know what are your champions, who you can use it on. You farmed a dungeon, dragon for example. You dropped, let's say, this piece. It have speed and crit damage. So when you roll it, depends. Either you're gonna put it on a DPS, and mostly you're gonna put it on a damage dealer, or you're gonna put it on someone like Sethalia that needs speed and accuracy set, or Hedgie. So, something like this also, with crit rate and crit damage. So that's what you're gonna look for on substats. If you got an item, like this, for example, speed and flat attack, you need the item to roll on speed, double speed. If it didn't roll double speed, it's useless. This might be like for endgame people, more than beginners, but ideally you don't want flat attack. This is an F for me. I'll sell it without looking back, because I will not use it. If you got an item with 2 flat stats, for example, or some sort, probably I will not find any on my account because I always sell those. But if you find an item dropped something with, for example, let's say flat attack, sorry, on a weapon you will not get flat attack, but flat HP and resistance on a weapon, because you can get those 2 substats on a weapon or a shield. You can get those substats. That's an insta sell. You need stuff to have percentages. This one have speed and resist. Resist is not bad in arena. Speed is really important in this game. So, the main stats on the first top row on the items will never change. You need to look more for the substats. So, depending on that, you will decide either to keep it or not. Stats you need to look for as a substat: crit rate, speed, crit damage, accuracy. Crit rate, speed, crit damage, and accuracy. That's what you mostly gonna look for. If you got like HP flat, HP percentage, it's not really important to keep on the item. If it's a blue item, at least you need 1 good substat. But later on in the game, you will not be happy with just 1 good substat. You're gonna need both of them. Let's talk about the second row of gear: gloves, chest, and boots. Boots, you always want speed boots. Always want speed boots. There's only one exception, which is defense percentage boots, and those defense percentage boots need to have speed substat, and it need to roll on speed. It's gonna be really difficult to use those defense percentage boots without speed on it, because when you speed tune a champion, for clown boss for example, it's really going to be brutal. This is an example of a boot. I kept it just to roll it and see if it's gonna roll twice or 3 times maybe. You never know. It's a legendary item, so it's have 4 chances to roll. The first roll, not what we wanted. Let's see the second one. If it didn't roll on the second one, yes, better stop now. Better stop now. Because if it didn't roll at the beginning, it's really gonna be a waste of silver just to try and get it to 12, then risk it and try to get it to 16, and it might never roll. It might go to something else. So, better safe than sorry. Now, let's talk about gloves. Defense percentage is one of the stats you want to keep. Flat HP on a glove, flat attack on a glove, flat defense on a glove. You don't want those. You don't want those. I get this from Fire Knight, since we have a Fire Knight tournament at the moment, and this time I got it from it. So this is really not good. So we are selling it. So as you see, I have none of those. The only time you will see me have those, if it have speed and it's on speed gear. And that's the only one I have. That's the only exception. Because for arena, you need that speed. Let's talk about the other stats. Now, HP percentage gloves. For that in particular, you just don't keep random HP percentage gloves. They need to have substats that are actually good. Martial Art, for example. I use them in Clan Boss. It didn't roll the way I wanted, but the speed was enough. And the crit damage was actually kinda cool. But the other substats are not good enough. This is a good glove, but ideally when I use HP percentage gloves, I don't want crit damage, I want crit rate. This is something I rolled long ago, so I kept it because it's in speed set and it's HP, like I was using it for testing on some champions. This one have crit rate on it and have accuracy, so it's kinda good for Champ Fort to have those substats because you're gonna get crit rate from the rest of the gears on him. This one didn't roll any good. This didn't roll any good. Something like this, you should sell it. Or use it just like me in Champion for Faction Wars, or example like that. Also, it depends on the set actually, like, if you have a stun set, if it's on a cruel set like this, just use it on a Faction War champion or just sell it. I'm keeping those items just to like showcase them in the video. I dropped them on other champions because I don't have a lot of space here for myself. Let's talk about now rolling the substats. On items, when you roll, you want to roll double rolls at least on the stat or triple rolls. Look at this. It rolled 1, 1, 1. That is the worst case scenario. Especially if you have an item that have good substats, multi-good substats to roll. But if it rolled 1, 1, 1, that is a no-go. You do this, you sell it. Why I'm saying this? Because, for example, here, 26% crit damage on a crit damage set. That means I don't need to look for crit damage anymore on other pieces because I have it here. And I have speed on this, and I have accuracy. The only bad substat here is resistance, but it's okay. With 3 good substats, it's fine. So I compare this with a crit rate helmet and get the set effect, extra crit damage. I can pair it with this helmet, it have crit rate on it also. I can pair it with another shield, like this that have speed. This one have crit. This one have speed. But also, this boot, for example, is a speed boot with crit rate substat. It rolled twice. I can pair it with that weapon, and I'll have the set effect, and I'll have crit rate. That applies if you don't have high crit damage. Technically, you will look for speed and crit. Crit rate. Accuracy here. This I wasn't actually happy with it, but it's when I was starting the game basically. This one is the best thing you want. Mainly, if you're gonna build a crit damage champion, you're gonna use crit damage gloves. And as I as I said in the first video, there's crit rate substats on the crit damage gloves. Every crit damage glove you wanna own, if you want it to go easy on you gearing your champions, need to have crit rate on the substat. At least rolled once. Or twice. This one didn't roll. And as I said in the first video, It's only good to use these kind of gloves on a champion that doesn't require 100% on his heavy hit. I was talking about Cold Heart, for example. She needs 70% in here on her Heartseeker because she will gain 30% crit rate. Extra chance on this skill. So this will wrap up today's video. I hope you guys benefited from this information. Till next time, have a good one. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Make sure to give us some thumbs up if you liked the video. See you next time.